A city where the air is too thin to breathe, where crops won't grow, and yet someone built massive pyramids and temples with impossible precision? In this video, we're going to uncover the shocking truth about an ancient civilization that defies everything we thought we knew about human history. We'll explore archaeological evidence that suggests these builders possess technology and knowledge that shouldn't have existed thousands of years ago, and examine the mysterious disappearance of an entire advanced society. By the end of this video, you'll discover evidence so compelling that it may completely change how you view ancient history and reveal why mainstream archaeology has been reluctant to acknowledge what the ruins are really telling us. The Impossible City. How does a civilization thrive at 13,000 feet above sea level, where oxygen is thin and crops refuse to grow? Tiwanaku sits on Altiplano Plateau near Lake Titicaca, in conditions that seem impossible for ancient civilization located at 13,000 feet above sea level. This harsh environment experiences extreme temperature variations, high winds, and oxygen levels that make normal human activity difficult. Yet here stands evidence of one of the most sophisticated ancient civilizations ever discovered. The site covers 4 square kilometers and contains massive stone structures that defy conventional understanding. The famous Akapana Pyramid rises 7 terraces high, its precise construction rivaling anything built by later civilizations. The Kala Sasaya temple features stone pillars weighing hundreds of tons, positioned with mathematical precision. The enigmatic Pumapunku complex showcases stonework so advanced that modern engineers struggle to understand how it was achieved. When Spanish conquistador Pedro de Cieza de León first documented these ruins in the 1540s, he questioned loyal Aymara people about the builders. Their response was cryptic and haunting. They laughed at the suggestion that the Incas built these structures, insisting they were constructed long before any known civilization. The locals could only say the massive stones appeared overnight and were built before the Incas reigned. The precision of the stonework defies explanation. Massive blocks weighing up to 100 tons and fitted together so perfectly that not even a knife blade can slice between them. Some stones feature complex interlocking joints that would challenge modern machinery. Others display evidence of advanced metallurgy, with bronze clamps holding blocks together using techniques that supposedly didn't exist in pre-Columbian America. The Gateway of the Sun, carved from a single 10-ton block of andesite, features intricate reliefs that have puzzled researchers for over a century. The central figure, known as the Staff God, is surrounded by running figures that some believe represent a sophisticated calendar system. The precision of these carvings suggests tools and techniques far beyond what we attribute to ancient peoples. Archaeological surveys have revealed that the visual ruins represent only a fraction of the original city. Ground-penetrating radar shows extensive underground structures, suggesting Tiwanaku was once a massive urban center housing tens of thousands of inhabitants. The sophistication of the drainage system, the precision of the astronomical alignments, and the complexity of the construction all point to a level of knowledge that challenges our understanding of ancient capabilities. What makes this impossible city truly shocking is growing evidence that it might be over 12,000 years old, potentially making it older than any known civilization and forcing us to completely rewrite human history. Secrets underground. But how do researchers determine the age of stone structures that leave no organic material to carve and date? The answer lies in the mysterious tunnels beneath the Akapana Pyramid. Discovered through decades of careful excavation and modern ground-penetrating radar surveys, these underground passages represent one of the most intriguing aspects of Tiwanaku's construction, suggesting engineering capabilities that rival modern standards. In 2008, Italian researchers from Akakor Geographical Exploring gained official permission from the Bolivian Ministry of Culture to explore these underground networks. The team spent 25 days mapping and documenting tunnels that had remained sealed for millennia. What they found challenged everything researchers thought they knew about ancient construction techniques. The tunnels measured precisely 50 centimeters by 60 centimeters, dimensions that appear to have been carefully calculated for optimal water flow and structural integrity. These passages function as sophisticated drainage systems, channeling rainwater from the pyramid's summit through carefully engineered canals that empty into the nearby Tiwanaku River. The precision of the engineering suggests knowledge of hydraulics and fluid dynamics that historians claim didn't exist in ancient times. But the most remarkable discovery wasn't the tunnels themselves. It was what had grown inside them over thousands of years. Hanging from the tunnel ceilings were stalactiles, mineral formations that grew incredibly slowly as calcium carbonate deposits accumulate drop by drop over centuries or millennia. These stalactiles, some measuring up to 50 centimeters in length, have become crucial evidence in the dating controversy surrounding Tiwanaku, materials that can be contaminated or disturbed. Stalactiles provide a continuous record of undisturbed time. Each centimeter of growth represents decades or centuries, depending on local climate conditions, water chemistry, and mineral content. The specific type found in Tiwanaku's tunnels are tubular formations known as soda straw stalactiles, which typically grow at rates between 1 millimeter and several centimeters per year, depending on environmental conditions, in the harsh, high-altitude climate of the Altiplano. Growth rates would be significantly slower than in tropical caves, making these formations potentially very ancient indeed. The tunnels show clear evidence of having been sealed and undisturbed since their construction. There are no signs of later modification, reconstruction, or interference. The stalactiles hang undisturbed in their original positions, some nearly touching the tunnel floors. If these passages had been accessed or modified in recent centuries, these delicate formations would have been broken or disturbed. Research teams documented the complete tunnel system using high-resolution photography and 3D mapping technology. The passages follow precise geometric patterns, suggesting they were planned and constructed according to sophisticated engineering principles rather than carved randomly or modified over time. The stalactiles provide a geological clock that suggests Tiwanaku's tunnels have been sealed for millennia, potentially supporting theories that this civilization is far older than mainstream archaeology dares to admit. The stellar timepiece. The most compelling evidence of Tiwanaku's ancient origins come from the stars themselves. The Kalasasaya Temple represents one of the most sophisticated astronomical observatories ever constructed in the ancient world. This massive rectangular structure, measuring 126 meters by 117 meters, functions as a giant calendar that tracks the movement of celestial bodies with precision that rivals modern instruments. The temple stone pillars are positioned with mathematical accuracy to align with specific astronomical events throughout the year. When standing on the central platform, observers can watch the sun rise and set at precise points along the horizon during solstices and equinoxes. The northern pillar marks the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere on June 21st, while the southern pillar indicates the summer solstice on December 21st. The central pillar perfectly frames the sunrise during the spring and autumn equinoxes. This astronomical precision allows researchers to calculate when the structure was built by measuring changes in Earth's obliquity, the tilt of our planet's axis relative to its orbital plane. This tilt, currently at approximately 23.5 degrees, oscillates between 22.1 and 24.5 degrees over a cycle lasting roughly 41,000 years. These changes affect the exact positions when the sun rises and sets during solstice, creating a celestial timepiece that can be used to date ancient structures. Arthur Poznański, the Austrian civil engineer turned archaeologist who dedicated his life to studying Tiwanaku, spent over 4 decades making precise measurements of these alignments, working with sophisticated surveying equipment and astronomical calculations. He documented minute discrepancies between the temple's current alignment and optimal astronomical positioning. Poznański's research revealed that the Kalasasaya's alignment corresponds to an obliquity of 23 degrees, 8 minutes and 48 seconds, significantly different from the current tilt of 23 degrees and 27 minutes. This difference represents the accumulated change in Earth's axis over thousands of years, providing a method to calculate when the temple was constructed with optimal alignment. The precision of Poznański's work attracted international attention. In 1926, the German Astronomical Commission sent an expedition to Peru and Bolivia to verify his calculations. The team included renowned astronomers Hans Ludendorff, Arnold Kohlschutter, Friedrich Becker, and Rolf Muller, scientists whose expertise in celestial mechanics was intentionally recognized. These German astronomers spent months in Tiwanaku, using advanced instruments to verify Poznański's measurements. They confirmed that his calculations were mathematically correct and that the astronomical alignments were indeed precise. Their analysis indicated that the Kalasasaya's temple was aligned for optimal astronomical observation during a period when Earth's obliquity was significantly different from today. The implications were staggering. Using accepted calculations for the rate of change in Earth's obliquity, the German astronomers calculated that the Kalasasaya temple was constructed approximately 15,000 years ago. during the late Pleistocene epoch, long before any known advanced civilization should have existed in the Americas. But the astronomical evidence extends beyond simple alignment. The temple's design incorporates sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics, including the precision of equinoxes, the varying declination of celestial bodies, and complex mathematical relationships between different astronomical cycles. This knowledge required generations of careful observation and mathematical analysis, suggesting a civilization with advanced scientific capabilities. Recent research has revealed additional astronomical alignments throughout the Tiwanaku complex. The Akapana Pyramid's orientation corresponds to specific stellar alignments, while the Pumapunku platform shows evidence of lunar calendar calculations. These discoveries suggest that Tiwanaku's builders possess comprehensive astronomical knowledge that rivals modern understanding. The stars themselves testify to Tiwanaku's extreme age. Astronomical evidence verified by leading scientists suggests this civilization was flourishing when history books claimed advanced society was impossible. The Great Catastrophe. If Tiwanaku thrived 12,000 years ago, what destroyed this advanced civilization? The answer lies in geological evidence of catastrophic environmental disaster. Lake Titicaca Basin reveals dramatic changes that devastated one of humanity's earliest advanced civilizations. Ancient shoreline markers show Lake Titicaca once stood 100 meters higher than today, creating a massive inland sea that reached almost to Tiwanaku's doorstep. This ancient lake would have provided abundant marine resources and moderated the harsh highland climate, supporting a large urban population. But these ancient shorelines now show a distinct tilt, rising towards the south at measurable rates across hundreds of kilometers. Since shorelines are level when formed, this tilt indicates massive geological upheaval that occurred after the lake receded. The site shows clear evidence of sudden abandonment rather than gradual decline. Construction projects were left unfinished, with massive stone blocks abandoned mid-preparation. Precision-cut stones lie scattered as if dropped by fleeing workers. Sacred sculptures were carefully buried or hidden, suggesting inhabitants knew disaster was approaching. Climate data from ice cores and lake sediments revealed dramatic environmental change around 12,000 years ago. The Younger Durias period brought sudden return to Ice Age conditions, with rapidly dropping temperatures, changing precipitation patterns, and massive flooding as glacial dams collapse. Geological evidence throughout the site includes extensive flood deposits containing marine fossils and chemical signatures confirming prolonged submersion. The depth and extent of these layers suggest catastrophic inundation rather than gradual changes. This catastrophe aligns perfectly with the Young Durias period, a global climate disaster that occurred exactly when astronomical evidence suggests Tiwanaku flourished, providing a mechanism for the sudden end of this advanced civilization. Impossible technology. The precision of Tiwanaku's construction suggests capabilities that shouldn't have existed for thousands of years. The stonework represents one of humanity's greatest engineering achievements, demonstrating technical mastery that modern builders struggle to replicate using power tools and heavy machinery. Massive blocks were quarried from sites 20 kilometers away and transported across difficult terrain. Some weigh over 100 tons, equivalent to 80 modern cars, yet were positioned with millimeter precision. The largest block weighs 131 tons and was somehow lifted and placed with perfect alignment. The cutting precision defines explanation. Blocks feature complex three-dimensional curves, precise angles, and intricate joints that appear almost melted together. Surfaces are so smooth they seem polished, with tool marks suggesting cutting techniques that remain mysterious. Most remarkable are tiny holes drilled through massive stones with perfect cylindrical precision. These holes, some less than a centimeter wide, penetrate completely through blocks weighing tons. The precision suggests rotary tools operating at high speeds, technology mainstream archaeology claims didn't exist in ancient America. The Pumapunku complex showcases the most advanced work. Red sandstone and andesite blocks are cut with tolerances measured in fractions of millimeters. Adjacent blocks fit together without visible joints, creating seamless walls that appear carved from single pieces. Many blocks feature standardized cuts, right-angle channels, and precisely measured recesses following specific mathematical ratios. Bronze clamps and pin joint massive stones using sophisticated alloying techniques and installation methods requiring advanced metallurgic knowledge. The construction demonstrate understanding of seismic engineering. Despite being in one of the world's most earthquake-prone regions, structures have survived for millennia using interlocking joints and flexible construction methods specifically designed to withstand and seismic activity. This level of precision could only be achieved with technology historians claim didn't exist until modern times, suggesting either lost ancient knowledge or capabilities that challenge our entire understanding of prehistoric human achievement. Global influence. Evidence suggests Tiwanaku's influence spread across both American continents. Similarities between Tiwanaku and distant ancient sites indicate either remarkable coincidences or systematic knowledge diffusion from a common source spanning thousands of miles. The staff-wielding deity prominently displayed at Tiwanaku appears in artwork from Mexico to Chile. This staff god shows remarkable consistency despite being found at sites separated by vast distances and supposedly different time periods. At Chavin de Huántar in Peru, 1,000 kilometers away, nearly identical figures appear in 3,000-year-old stone carvings. Chemical analysis reveals Tiwanaku manufactured ceramics transported hundreds of kilometers to distant settlements, indicating extensive trade networks. This sophisticated raised field agriculture system pioneered at Tiwanaku appears suddenly at multiple sites across South America, each adapted to local conditions but sharing fundamental principles that can increase crop yields by 700%. Construction techniques similar to Tiwanaku's appear at later sites throughout Peru. The precise stone cutting, complex joinery, and astronomical alignments share characteristics with Sacsayhuaman, Ollantaytambo, and other mysterious constructions, suggesting either direct technological transfer or inheritance from a common source. Genetic studies reveal surprising connections between indigenous populations separated by vast distances. DNA analysis show markers suggesting ancient migrations from the Lake Titicaca region to distant parts of North and South America, following patterns consistent with post-catastrophe dispersal. Oral traditions from indigenous groups throughout the Americas contain remarkably similar accounts of advanced ancient civilizations destroyed by catastrophic events. These independently preserved stories describe technologically sophisticated peoples who possessed knowledge later lost, with many specifically referring a great southern civilization destroyed by flooding. The evidence suggests that we consider separate ancient civilizations may actually be daughter cultures of a single parent civilization centered at Tiwanaku, a mother culture that seeded advanced knowledge across both American continents after surviving the Great Catastrophe. Modern revelations. 21st century technology is finally unlocking Tiwanaku's deepest secrets. Advanced imaging, sophisticated dating methods, and cutting-edge analysis are revealing hidden structures and confirming theories that seemed impossible just decades ago. Ground-penetrating radar shows extensive underground structures, buried roadways, and hidden chambers extending far beyond visible ruins. The scans indicate known structures represent only a fraction of the original city, with most still buried beneath meters of sediment. LiDAR scanning has mapped sophisticated raised field agriculture extending dozens of square kilometers around the ceremonial center. This infrastructure could have supported populations of 100,000 or more, far larger than previously estimated and rivaling major cities of later civilizations. New luminescence dating techniques applied to quartz crystals in construction mortar are providing direct dates for the stonework itself. Unlike organic materials that can be contaminated, these mineral crystals measure when they were last exposed to sunlight during construction. Preliminary results align with Poznański's astronomical calculations. Climate studies using ice cores confirm dramatic environmental change exactly when astronomical evidence places Tiwanaku's flourishing. The data show rapid temperature drops and atmospheric changes that would have made high-altitude habitation extremely difficult, supporting catastrophic abandonment theories. Modern acoustic analysis reveals sophisticated sound engineering throughout the structures. Sensitive equipment documents intentional acoustic effects including sound amplification and resonance patterns that would have enhanced ceremonial activities, suggesting knowledge of engineering principles not formally recognized until modern times. Satellite imagery has revealed additional archaeological sites sharing Tiwanaku's characteristics across hundreds of square kilometers, indicating a vast regional civilization with sophisticated infrastructure extending far beyond the main ceremonial center. Each technological advance provides new evidence supporting Tiwanaku's extreme antiquity and sophistication, building an overwhelming case of a civilization that achieved remarkable capabilities thousands of years before history books claimed such achievement was possible. The resistance to truth. Why does mainstream archaeology refuse to accept mounting evidence for Tiwanaku's extreme age? The resistance reveals deeper issues within academic archaeology that extend beyond science into politics, prejudice, and institutional survival. Accepting Tiwanaku's 12,000-year age would require fundamental revision of textbooks, curricula, and theoretical frameworks representing decades of institutional investment. This threatens established reputations and career foundations in ways that create powerful resistance to paradigm-shifting evidence. The peer review system inherently favors incremental change over revolutionary discoveries. Researchers proposing radical timeline revision face skepticism, funding difficulties, and career obstacles that discourage investigation of controversial evidence. The system rewards conformity while punishing challenge to fundamental assumptions. Political factors compound the problem. Since colonial times, European scholars attributed advanced construction to anyone except indigenous peoples, creating prejudice legacies that persist today. Accepting Tiwanaku's extreme antiquity requires acknowledging indigenous Americans achieved advanced civilization thousands of years before Europe or the Middle East. Economic interests within archaeology create additional barriers. University museums and publishers have invested heavily in current narratives and face substantial costs if fundamental revisions became necessary. The financial stakes in maintaining established timelines influence how evidence gets evaluated and accepted. Professional archaeologists face institutional pressure to maintain credibility, creating reluctance to endorse theories colleagues might view as fringe. Fear of professional isolation leads researchers to avoid controversial topics even when evidence supports alternative interpretations. The association of extreme dating with speculative theories creates automatic rejection of legitimate scientific evidence. Researchers dismiss interdisciplinary findings from geology, astronomy, and engineering rather than conducting proper evaluation, maintaining theoretical comfort zones regardless of mounting contradictory evidence. The resistance stems from institutional structures that prioritize career preservation over scientific truth, revealing how academic politics can obstruct genuine discovery when finding challenges fundamental assumptions about human capabilities and development. Implications for human history. If Tiwanaku truly is 12,000 years old, what does this mean for our understanding of human civilization? The implications of accepting Tiwanaku's extreme antiquity extend far beyond a simple revision of archaeological timelines. They require a fundamental reconceptualization of human development, technological progress, and the very nature of civilization itself. This paradigm shift would revolutionize our understanding of human capabilities, ancient knowledge systems, and the true scope of prehistoric achievement. An ancient Tiwanaku would push back the timeline of advanced civilization by thousands of years, placing sophisticated urban development, monumental architecture, and complex engineering in the late Pleistocene epoch. This dating would establish that humans achieved advanced technological and social organization during the last ice age, long before the agricultural revolution that historians claim was necessary for civilization development. The existence of sophisticated civilization 12,000 years ago would require revision of theories about human cognitive development. Current models suggest that the mental capabilities necessary for complex engineering, mathematical calculation, and systematic astronomical observation developed gradually over thousands of years. Tiwanaku's extreme antiquity would indicate that these cognitive abilities existed much earlier than previously recognized, suggesting different pathways for human intellectual evolution. The technological implications are equally revolutionary. The precision stonework, advanced metallurgy, and sophisticated engineering at Tiwanaku would indicate that humans developed complex technologies thousands of years before conventional timelines suggest. This would require acknowledging that technological development doesn't follow linear progression and that advanced capabilities can be achieved through different pathways than those recognized by modern industrial civilization. The social implications challenge fundamental assumptions about prehistoric human organization. Building Tiwanaku would have required coordination of thousands of workers, sophisticated logistic systems, and complex social hierarchies capable of managing long-term construction projects. These organizational capabilities supposedly didn't develop until much later periods, suggesting that complex societies emerged much earlier than currently recognized. The astronomical knowledge evident at Tiwanaku indicates systematic scientific observation spanning potentially thousands of years. This suggests that prehistoric peoples developed sophisticated understanding of celestial mechanics, mathematical relationships, and engineering principles that rival modern scientific knowledge. Such capabilities would require educational systems, knowledge preservation methods, and intellectual traditions far more advanced than historians attribute to prehistoric peoples. The implications of understanding technological inheritance becomes profound when considering later civilizations throughout the Americas. If Tiwanaku represents a mother culture that influenced subsequent development, then achievements attributed to the Maya, Inca, and other civilizations may actually represent rediscovery or inheritance of much older knowledge systems. This would fundamentally alter our understanding of how human knowledge develops and spreads. The environmental implications are equally significant. Tiwanaku's builders would have faced and overcome challenges from dramatic climate change, high-altitude conditions, and seismic activity using technologies and methods not recognized by modern civilization. Their solutions to these challenges could provide insights for contemporary environmental and engineering problems. The dating also implies different patterns of human migration and cultural development across the Americas. If Tiwanaku's influence spread throughout both continents, as evidence suggests, then the people of the Americas and development of indigenous cultures would have followed patterns completely different from current models. This would require fundamental revision of theories about human migration, cultural transmission, and prehistoric population dynamics. The preservation of knowledge across catastrophic events becomes a crucial consideration. If Tiwanaku was destroyed by environmental disasters around 12,000 years ago, the survival and transmission of their knowledge to later civilizations would demonstrate human resilience and cultural continuity under extreme conditions. This has profound implications for understanding how civilizations survive existential threats. The global context becomes relevant when considering similar anomalous sites worldwide. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, the Sphinx in Egypt, and other structures showing evidence of extreme antiquity may represent remnants of a global civilization or network of advanced cultures that exist during the late Pleistocene. Tiwanaku's extreme dating would support theories of a lost chapter in human history that spanned multiple continents. The philosophical implications challenge fundamental assumptions about human progress and the nature of civilization itself. If advanced capabilities existed 12,000 years ago and were subsequently lost, this suggests that human development doesn't follow inevitable linear progression towards greater sophistication. Civilizations can rise, achieve remarkable heights, and then disappear, leaving only mysterious ruins as evidence of their existence. The scientific implications extend to multiple disciplines beyond archaeology. Geology, climatology, astronomy, and engineering would all need to incorporate evidence for advanced prehistoric capabilities. This interdisciplinary revolution would affect scientific understanding across multiple fields and require new models for human-environment interaction during prehistoric periods. The cultural implications for modern indigenous peoples are profound. Recognition of advanced prehistoric civilization in the Americas would validate traditional knowledge systems, oral histories, and cultural claims that have been dismissed by Western scholarship. This recognition could lead to fundamental changes in how indigenous knowledge is valued and incorporated into modern understanding. Tiwanaku may represent evidence of humanity's first attempt at advanced civilization, a golden age lost to catastrophe and forgotten by history, preserved only in myths and mysterious ruins. The truth beneath the stones. The evidence from Tiwanaku points to a civilization far older and more sophisticated than conventional archaeology accepts. From the stalactites in underground tunnels to the precise astronomical alignments of its temples, from its advanced stonework to its global influences, every clue suggests a complex society that flourished over 12,000 years ago.